Hey guys, Steve Welch here, standing in front of the new Rav4s that we currently have on the ground, and something, you know, best always likes to get better. So Rav4, like I had mentioned in a previous video, has overtaken the F-150 as the #1 selling vehicle in the country, and then you take the best and you just make it better. So Toyota has released information on the all-new Rav4 that's coming out for 2026. So there is going to be a lot of changes on the Rav4. I'm going to have a bit of a longer video here, but I'm going to tell you everything so that there are no questions left. A bunch of people are going through and doing these little short videos that are these little synopsis of what it is. I'm going to tell you the towing ratings that's changing. I'm going to tell you the trim levels that are changing, things that you're going to be able to get on the new one that you couldn't get on the current one, and then also things that you're going to be no longer able to get on the new one that you can currently get on this one. That way you have all the information to make sure that you know whether or not the 26 might be right for you, or if you want to stick with the 25 or older gen, or maybe a different vehicle altogether when it comes to something like maybe a Highlander or something like that. But I'm going to go over all the specs for you, and I'm going to show you everything that's changing on the new Rav4. Here's your full-on everything there is on the new Rav4, as far as I know it as of right now from Toyota's release. So it's fitting that I'm sitting in a new Rav4 right now. This is a 25 Rav4 to talk to you about the 26 and to give you all the information on what's changing from this one to the next one. So this is the 5th generation. The next one will be the 6th generation, and Toyota's kind of separating it out into different kind of groups, right? So you always have trim levels, but they're separating it into groups within those trim levels. So what are your groups? The core, the sport, and the rugged style. So they're basically trying to, from what I can understand on it, they're basically trying to get what you plan to do with the vehicle and go, or based off of what you plan to do with it, this is what you need to get. And that's kind of, I think, the idea here. Now, something that's going to be new, and like I said, something you can get, something you can't, right? Something that's going to be new on the new RAV4 is it will be all electrified. So some people hear that word and think they're all electric. They're not all electric. They're all electrified, meaning that they will all be either hybrid or plug-in hybrid. All right, so just a quick little bit on the hybrid. Some people say, I don't want an electric car. I understand that. It's not an electric car. A hybrid doesn't have to be plugged in or anything like that. You drive it just like a normal car. You get in, you put gas when it says empty, you drive the car. Most parts, very little things are actually different with a hybrid as opposed to a non-hybrid vehicle. Now your plugins will actually give you range off of electric. Has a bigger battery, more horsepower. I'll get into that here in just a minute. But it's the plug-in. Yes, you can plug it in, but you can still drive a plug-in without ever plugging it in if you don't want to. So just those people go, I don't want an electric car. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about that. It's not something that is where it's like all electric, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, so now you will also be able to get first ever a RAV4 GR Sport. All right, so RAV4 GR Sport. So GR is Gazoo Racing, that's Toyota's racing division. And realistically, if you find anything that's GR, you just got to consider that it's souped up, more power. And I'll get into that here in a little bit as well. Like I said, this is going to be full on. I'm giving you all the information that you could possibly want on this new RAV4. So the GR will have GR tuned handling, aggressive exterior style, and an exhilarating powertrain with all-wheel drive and more, right? So you're also going to have woodland grade. So that's going to be in the hybrid electric or plug-in hybrid electric, of course, with all-wheel drive being standard. Woodland is kind of think camping, you know, that kind of a thing. You're off-road to kind of do something like that. The plug-in powertrain, you're going to have up to 320 horsepower and 20% more driving range. So these are just the bullet points. I'm going to go over all of this as we go here. So now you're also going to move to the 5th generation hybrid system to boost the output, right? So your output's going to 236 horsepower on your all-wheel drive models and 226 on your front-wheel drive models. And I'll show you more about that as we go here too. So like I said, I'm going to go over all this in depth, right? These are the bullet points. And front-wheel drive, previous gen, so the current generation I'm in right now, this is a hybrid that I'm in right now. In this one, you could not get a front wheel drive version of it. All the hybrids were all wheel drive. So coming out, all your hybrids will all have all wheel drive going. The last part, Toyota is now going to have Safety Sense 4.0 and a new generation of the audio multimedia. So I've already had a little bit of an insight to the audio multimedia. It is going to be really, really good. A lot more user-friendly, quicker, a lot more of the ability to customize it. So that's something I think a lot of you guys will like. One of the biggest complaints I always have people talk about is that you really have a limitation to what you can customize with the audio multimedia. And it seems like Toyota is going to address that with this. So now I'll kind of go over what the initial press release is here. It's not all this stuff that the other people have been doing. This is getting into the weeds, all right? So realize that. You all are going to tell me that I was very long-winded in this video. Thank you, right? That's what I'm going for. All right, so anyway, so it's the best-selling compact SUV. We all know that, right? We already talked about the GR Sports coming out, and that's going to be all hybrid, plug-in electric. One of those two is going to be what you're going to get, right? So we're kind of going over all of that part. So when they say there's three distinct styles, that's the core, the sport, and the rugged, right? Those are the three distinct styles, right? And then it says highly efficient electrified powertrains available in the front or all-wheel drive. So basically it's going to be able to take care of you. Realistically, front-wheel drive is only going to be in your lower trim levels, just so you kind of get an idea there. But the core design has a paint match grille. All this stuff that everybody's already talked about. Why? Because that's what Toyota did in the initial release that they did on YouTube, right? So here's getting into some of your weeds. So wheel combinations will vary. You're going to get a 17, an 18, or a 20-inch wheel that's going to be available on it, right? And it's going to be depending on the grade. So the core models will include the well-equipped LE, XLE, and limited grades. So what you'll notice is that you've dropped something off of there. Your XLE Premium, it's gone, right? It doesn't exist anymore. But you're gaining some other things. So we're going to keep going over that as we go here, of course. So the rugged design is exclusive to the outdoor inspired woodland model. So they talk about the rugged. There's one in there. It's the woodland model, right? So the peak of the Hammerhead front end is slightly raised, and it's black split upper and lower grille with the integrated rigid Industries LED lighting will give it an adventurous look, right? So that is all true, right? The model also stands about a ½ inch higher due to the all-terrain tires. So it's not the suspension changing, it's the tires that are changing it. So it also has the standard raised roof rails, which they've had in the Adventure series currently now, and in the Woodland series currently now. But that's changing, right? Your Adventure series, gone. It's just going to be the Woodland, right? So that's something else to kind of note there. But the Woodland will also have standard all-wheel drive and be available in the hybrid electric or the plug-in powertrain, right? Currently the Woodland's not available in the plug-in. It will be in 26, right? So keep in mind I'm making this just as we're releasing the information on the 26. So if you see this in 27, then you'll obviously hopefully already know some of this. So now the sport design is the Rav4 GR Sport, right? Is designed with input from Gazoo Racing, takes inspiration from motorsports for a model that's an expression of driving enjoyment, prioritizes handling, the GRT suspension, enhanced body rigidity, so it's not going to flex as much. It could be a slightly rougher ride on the highway, just note that. I don't think it'll be massively different, but it could be slightly rougher on the highway to give you that off-road capability, right? So it says it has summer tires on a unique 20-inch wheel with an increased offset. So the offset is where it's offsetting off to the side. It gives you a little bit more stability a lot of times for that too. So that's for like the off-roading stuff. So it'll be exclusively in the plug-in powertrain. That's in your GR, so it will be plug-in hybrid only. And realistically, the reason they're doing that, plug-in hybrid gives you more horsepower. So if you're going for the GR, you're going for the high-powered one, you're going to go for the one that gives you more horsepower. That just makes sense why Toyota would do that. So, and we'll go over a lot of that difference here as we go forward. I got all the information right here, so just so you guys can know that. So it has a GR functional matrix grille. So it has the grille shutters, I believe, in there too, along with front and rear wing type spoilers for an aggressive style. The XSE and SE grades will round out the sport design. So those will be SE and XSEs are currently around. They're going to look different, obviously, but we'll kind of keep going for there. They will be available in the hybrid electric or the plug-ins. There is a choice of front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, depending on the grade, having up to 20-inch wheels, blue interior stitching, and available two-tone paint. So your XSE should still have the black roof. That's what I'm gathering from that, right? So the new plug-in system is the new plug-in hybrid electric. So you'll see PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric models are featuring a newly developed plug-in hybrid system that combines a high capacity drive battery and a high output charger compatible with Toyota's latest 6th generation hybrid. The hybrid electric system increases output over the prior generation, climbing to 236 combined system net horsepower. That's combined system net horsepower means between the electric side and the gas side. It combines them both. That's where you get the 236. It was 219 on the previous hybrid. And then some people say, well, what was it in the non-hybrid? That was 203. So the hybrid always had a little bit more horsepower. They just juiced it up from there, right? So something else that's really good to know. So it'll also be available in front-wheel drive for the first time, and will have 226 combined system net horsepower and which is a 23 horsepower improvement over the prior generation's 203 horsepower for front-wheel drive gas model. So it's kind of what I just told you there. So now the plug-in hybrid system, this is where this just kind of starts to blow your mind. We'll give you up to an impressive 320 combined system net horsepower. That's over 18 horsepower over the outgoing system, of course. That thing's going to be a beast, right? And you'll find out that comes even more into play with some of the other things that it can do, right? So variety is the name of the game with the plug-in models, right? So it's offering a bunch of plug-in models. I'm going to go over that a little bit more as we go. But now they're changing something else. So your current plug-in, you can go up to 80 miles an hour and up to 44 miles, right? Now, I don't see the miles per hour as a limit here anymore, but let's assume it's the same 80 miles per hour. But the range is now up to 50 miles. So you get an extra 6 miles of range. So basically meaning if you live 25 miles or less from work, you can drive to work and home on full electric and never need to use your gas. I would suggest that if you are that kind of a person, that you put some fuel stabilizer in your fuel tank, just because when it comes to that, it's going to be a little bit the fuel's not going to go out fast. Let's just put it that way. It could be in there for a while if you drive that way, right? But it also says here that it's the XSE and Woodland Grays will have a DC fast charging capable of charging from 10% to 80% in approximately 30 minutes. So not only do you get that benefit of being able to drive like that, you're also going to be able to charge extremely quickly. So they say they're expected to start arriving at Toyota dealerships later this year, and pricing will be announced closer to an on-sale date. So here's the thing. So a lot of people will say, well, what do you think the pricing is going to be? I will give you a guess. Realize that this is 100% a guess. I would guess, just based off of everything that's been happening, you're probably going to go up about $2,000 or so from the current. That's kind of what it seems like things have been doing. So the base, so if you start with a base level, they're on the hybrid side, they're usually 32-ish. I think you're going to go to the 34s, and then you're going to keep kind of going up from there. That's what I think. Don't, look, we can always come back to this video. You guys can, give me crap in the comments if you want to, if I'm wrong, but I'm just trying to give you an idea, right, of what I think. And then the other thing, miles per gallon. Right? I looked through this whole thing. I didn't see anything on miles per gallon. If it comes up as I'm reading, then great. But the miles per gallon currently in your hybrids, like I said, they're all-wheel drive. You get 40 miles per gallon combined. So if you go to a front-wheel drive version of the hybrid, could you get more than that? I think so. But what about the all-wheel drive? Do you think it'll stay at 40? I think we're going to get a slight bump. I don't think it's going to be massive. I think you're going to get like that 42, 43 combined in the all-wheel drive, and maybe that 45 combined, with highway and city combined in the front-wheel drive. I think it's going to be something like that. I would love to see Camry numbers on it. It's the same engine. I mean, it's possible to get there, whereas like your base model Camry 2-wheel drive, can get you up to about 53 miles per gallon. This is a little bit higher in the air. It's a little bit less aerodynamic. That I think the 45 number might be good, but man, if it was 48, 49, that would be a game changer for this vehicle. But you kind of see where my mindset is on what I'm guessing. I do think it'll be mid 40s for the all-wheel drive or for the front-wheel drive, and it'll be the low 40s for the all-wheel drive, but I think it'll be a little bit better at the bare minimum over what it is right now. That's really the kind of the name of the game that's been going on, right? So, and then when it says starting to arrive at the end of this year, yeah, I'd say they probably start shipping these things in October. We'll probably see the things in November. It's just kind of that's what it feels like. I'd love for it to be earlier than that, but you know, if you want to call or email me and get on a list here at Beeman, just let me know. Just buy a Toyota Nashville at yahoo.com. Buy a Toyota Nashville at yahoo.com. Send me an email. I'll get you on a list. We're going to get a lot of these. I know we are. So now we're going to go back into a lot of this here. So it says 2 great powertrains available in front or all-wheel drive. So you have the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine with the 5th generation hybrid system. So here's something I want to point out. So a lot of people are like, oh, everything's going to turbo. These are not turbos, right? This is the same engine that it has now. I mean, it might be a different variation of it, but it's the same engine it has now. 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. If it was a turbo, it would say 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo. Keep in mind, the turbos are a 2.4 liter, like in the Highlander, Grand Highlander, stuff like that. They're a 2.4 liter turbo. This is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. It's the same thing that's in the Camry, same thing currently in the Rav4, right? So realize it's not a turbo, okay? So it says the new plug-in system will also debut on the Rav4. It will have the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine with 2 electric motors, high capacity traction battery. And then your other one, it says it's going to have the power control unit, battery, other component, you know, all the hybrid stuff, right? So you're going to get a bigger battery on your plug-ins, which has always been the case. Part of the reason that you can drive so far. And then on your regular hybrids, people know you put it in EV mode, and basically you need to have the engine helping in order for that EV mode to try to do anything. It almost doesn't do anything, right? So now back to the plug-in, right? It says that Toyota has adopted silicon carbide semiconductors in their front axle to achieve miniaturization and high efficiency. That word's easy, right? This change, in combination with a larger battery, has led to an increase in range. DC fast charging is now also available, with the XSE and Woodland Grays being capable of high-speed charging. So make a point of that too. So if it's not the Woodland or the XSE, you can't do the high speed, right? But it won't be the long time that you think about the other ones, I'm pretty sure, but we'll see what it says here, right? It's charging at home. Standard public chargers can also be quicker with a 11 kilowatt AC onboard charger available. So it's going to do quicker than it did before, right? So that's kind of good there. So this is another game changer. We're talking about towing now, all right? So towing on the old RAV4. So if you had a gas engine, it was 1,500 pounds, right? With a gas engine, you would have, unless you went to an off-road adventure or Woodland with the, you know, different framing and you know, a few different features to it, you would get up to 3,500 pounds with those, right? And then you had a 1,750 pound tow rating on your hybrids. Guess what? Hybrids, 1,750. You still have that same tow rating on all of the vehicles. So you're actually getting a better tow rating on these than what you had on the other ones. But, and this is a great but, right? The hybrid XLE, Woodland, SE, XSE, Limited, and plug-in EV SE, XSE, and Woodland Grays with all-wheel drive will be capable of towing up to 3,500 pounds. All front-wheel drive models and the LE all-wheel drive model will have a 1,750 towing capacity, right? So what does that mean, right? Well, if you have just a regular utility trailer behind you, single axle, realize that's a 3,500 pound axle, right? So realistically, that trailer, including the trailer weight, is going to max out at 3,500 pounds, right? And realistically, it'll probably be rated at 2990. Reason being is that you want to stay below the 3000 because you're supposed to put a brake on one when you go to over 3000. Getting a bit in the weeds there, but realistically, knowing you have a 3,500 pound tow rating on that, it's going to be a game changer for the RAV4, because now you might want to hitch on your RAV4 because you're going to be able to do more. I have a 2012 RAV4 personally that I have the ability to tow with it because I have the 6-cylinder in it. Now we're getting into the horsepower like what I have on the 2012 that I own. So now you can actually use it a lot more than just your daily driver, stuff like that. You can actually use it to where maybe you would have thought about a light truck or something like that. You can get your RAV4, put a hitch on it, and use it that way, right? So it's obviously the RAV4's first launched in '96, and it's changed a ton since then. But it's built on a unibody platform that was shared with the Corolla. It tapped into a unique need for many drivers and offered easy handling with functionality. I will say easier parking too. That was something that kind of came wrong. Now this is built on the TNGA-K platform. The TNGA-K, it's pretty much everything that's not a truck or an electric vehicle for Toyota, right? So your Camry, Corolla, your RAV4, Highlander, Grand Highlander, they're all built on the TNGA-K platform with minor tweaks to it to make it for each one. So it said the newest RAV4 will also receive structural rigidity increases due to reinforcement of the frame joints and the suspension mounting points, both benefiting handling and ride comfort, and also adopts a high dampening adhesive that reduces micro vibrations and road noise. So it should be quieter than ever and smoother than ever. Like I said, the only thing I would question is the woodland to see exactly how strong that was, right? Or how how that rode. Let's put it that way. So the exterior design on the RAV4, it's larger tires, elevated ride, highly usable rear cargo area. So it doesn't matter which version you're in, it's all going to have that, of course. LED signature taillights give the functional rear hatch a tech forward feel while adding a sense of width. Additional details like front and rear spoilers, different trim colors, wheel treatments, individualized RAV4 styles across the grades, right? So we're aiming for a harmonious blend of comfort, user-friendly technology, the center stack. So if you look at the new dash, right, that's in that RAV4, it's all changed. Everything's changed, right? It is going to be different. We're going to get into that here in just a second, but you're going to love that. So it says it's the touchscreen display, drive mode selection, storage for a smartly organized space, while the center console combines the shifter, cup holder, and a removable divider, an armrest storage bin with two-way closure. So that means that you can open it from either side. So driver or passenger, that's really cool too. The cockpit adds the new shift-by-wire system with a minimalist toggle switch that has an intuitive operation that brings a futuristic feel to the new RAV4, right? So I'm going to show you a picture here real quick of what I'm looking at, so you can kind of see how the console looks there. That is pretty sweet. So it says the RAV4 puts choice at the center of its model lineup. For instance, front-wheel drive is available in the hybrid LE, XLE, and SE grades for the first time. Like I said, it was never available before, right? And the previous available all-wheel drive systems offered on all grades. So if it is a RAV4, you can get it in all-wheel drive. So there's nothing that you can't get in all-wheel drive. I'm going to show you another chart here, and I'll put it on the screen here for a minute so that you guys can take a good look at it. But it shows your core, your rugged, and your sport designs, and then you can see what's new, like the front-wheel drive in the LE, the front-wheel drive in the XLE. Then your limited obviously is going to be only all-wheel drive in your limited. So in your core, you can get front or all-wheel drive in the LE, XLE. The limited's only the all-wheel drive. Woodland, you're obviously you're going to get your hybrid powertrain or your plug-in hybrid, and you can see both those. PHEV is plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. That's what it stands for. And then you can see they're only all-wheel drive there. In your sport design, you have your regular hybrid electric vehicle, which is HEV, or plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. And you can see the front-wheel drive is new there, but everything else is in all-wheel drive. Now, some people will ask this too. So they go, what happened to the RAV4 Prime? The plug-in hybrid electric vehicle is the RAV4 Prime. Nobody knew what Prime meant. That was kind of the whole reason that they switched that. Just saying, right? So Prime is like, what's a Prime? Okay, so they switched it to PHEV, plug-in electric or plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, so that you could, anyway. So now on the dash, right? So in the current RAV4s, you have a 10-inch system that you can have, right? The new one's different again. You're going to have a 10.5-inch or an available 12.9-inch touchscreen. So they're just getting bigger and bigger, right? But it gives a cockpit a clean, modern feel. It says digital HVAC controls are a new feature integrated into the bottom of the touchscreen display and have a permanent home along the bottom side of the screen. So I'm not really been a proponent of having the touch screen be the where the HVAC controls are, but when it says it has a permanent home along the bottom, that means that you're not going to have to go several screens to get to them. So I think that's a little bit better than, you know, where you got to go 5 or 6 things in order to change it. And then the other thing is you also have the ability to say, "Hey Toyota," and if you say that to where it can't hear you, it won't. Darn it. It still heard me. But if you say that, then you a lot of times can say set the passenger temperature to 72, something like that, and it'll change. This should work the exact same way for that. So realize that you can still voice change it if you want to as well. But it says across all grades, you're going to have a standard 12.3-inch digital cluster that'll give drivers customizable options and integrated multimedia information. It says a heads-up display will be available on the limited and XSE grades. And I've heard that heads-up display is supposed to put things more in your view, and it's supposed to be like a wider display. So I kind of wonder if there won't be like some things on either side or something like that. I'm really wanting to see this new system. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see this new system because it sounds like it's going to be a bit game-changing. So I want to see what it looks like, and I want to see exactly what they're talking about with that particular system, right? So a 6-speaker audio system would be standard. A 9-speaker JBL premium system would be available depending on the grade. That should be your upper grade, so your LE probably won't get that JBL system. The XLE might not get it either, but your limited, woodland, all those should be able to get that. Seating surfaces will range from fabric to Softex. So currently I'm in a one that's got fabric. It should be very similar to this. I don't see that changing a whole lot. Softex is obviously your synthetic leather from Toyota. It says with available seating colors like black black, light gray, or the new mineral color on the woodland. So I'll see if I can find you a picture of the mineral color, and if I can find that, I'll put that up for you right now. But the woodland interior also adds other touches for a vibrant outdoor inspired cabin, like unique pattern perforated seats, soft touch door and dash panels. Red orange accents are standard. Woodland branded all-weather floor and cargo mats. So realistically speaking, they've done that on the Adventure series now and the Woodland series now. So that's just kind of carrying some of those design features across, it looks like. Now in your XSE and your GR Sport grades, perforated broom knob, micro suede, Softex trim seating. I never want to say that name. And Softex seating with colorful accents, dynamic feel. So basically, you're gonna have an insert in the center that's gonna feel like suede, and then the outside will be trimmed with the Softex leather. So it'll feel pretty nice, breathable. So a lot of people like that. So you're also going to have paddle shifters and aluminum sport pedals on your GR. So your exterior color options will also bring standout style. The Woodland grade will have a new available Urban Rock exterior paint color. I'm going to show you what that looks like too. So Urban Rock exterior paint color, which is exclusive to the grade. That's in the Woodland only, right? While Meteor Shower and Everest, so Meteor Shower was new on the Land Cruiser. They're carrying that to the RAV4. Everest was new on the 4Runner. They're carrying that to the RAV4. And Storm Cloud, which was new on the Grand Highlander, and they're carrying that to the RAV4. So they're bringing all these colors that have actually been received very well by Toyota's customers, bring them to the RAV4. Makes absolute sense to do that. So you're going to have some options and some additional colors. So you're also going to have favorites like Ice Cap, Wind Chill Pearl, Midnight Black, Ruby Flare Pearl, and Blueprint to continue, right? So those are going to be coming back, right? And available two-tone paint options also carried forward, like the new combination of Meteor Shower with a black roof on the XSE, or the GR Sports exclusive pairing of Supersonic Red with the black roof. So that's in the Supersonic. So that's going to be only in the XSE, or actually that's going to be only in the GR Sport, right? So the new RAV4 is equipped with Arene. It's an all-new software development platform created by Woven by Toyota. The introduction of Arene is Toyota's first step to fully software-defined vehicles. The platform will be the foundation for our most advanced safety and security and connectivity technologies, which will create new opportunities to enhance features for our customers on a global scale. The 2026 RAV4 will also launch the newest version of Toyota's audio multimedia system, which is enabled by Irene. Or Arene, A-R-E-N-E, Arene. It's Irene or Arene, anyway. But it's paired with a touchscreen display. The system will have standard wireless CarPlay and Android Auto capability, simultaneous dual Bluetooth phone connectivity. So it sounds like both, you could have you and your spouse, significant other, whatever, can both be connected via Bluetooth at the same time. I'm pretty sure you won't be able to talk at the same time if there's 2 phone calls, but we'll see how that works, right? So it says the new system changes up to user experience with a new home button that is always displayed regardless of whether it is being operated in the native system, Apple CarPlay, or Android Auto. I like that, so you can switch back and forth. Trust me, I like that. There's some issues that I have if you have to go through a bunch of menus. I just don't like doing that. I like to be able to hit one button and go. Sounds like we're doing that. So the native voice assistant also improves with quicker response times. The native map and navigation functionality will also be integrated into the digital gauge cluster. The Toyota RAV4 will also be the first Toyota model to receive the new Toyota Safety Sense 4.0 system, also powered by the Irene software development platform. The new version of Toyota's standard active safety suite will have updates to its hardware and detection capabilities. Additional details will be available closer to the on-sale date. I've heard some things about 4.0, and it's just basically a lot of what it's doing is taking what Toyota's currently done and just supercharging it. It's just making it better. So if you do better cameras, if you do better sensors, if you do better all this, put it all together, let the computer see it all, it's going to make it a safer car. So that's pretty much, from what I understand, a lot about what is being done with that. So I'm going to go over some of the specifications. Like I said, long video. Expect it to be a long video. Put it in the comments that it's way too long. That's great, right? So anyway, so your grades, core grades, like we talked about, the LE, XLE, and Limited are your core grades. That's it, right? That's what you got in your core grades. So your drivetrain will be front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. For your LE or XLE, Limited's only all-wheel drive. Engine, 2.5-liter 4-cylinder hybrid. I'm showing you this chart here for a reason, right? Horsepower, you see the front-wheel drive 226, all-wheel drive 236. Why do you get more? It's because of the extra drive motor, right? Now, I did double check on all this. So the length, width, and height are all the same when it comes to the outgoing generation and the current and the new generation that's coming in. So they are all the same, with the one exception being the GR Sport. Talk about that in a quick second. But wheelbase, all that's identical. 105.9 on the wheelbase, all that's identical. So now we're going to the rugged. It's the Woodland, only available in all-wheel drive. Then you see you got the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder hybrid, or that same engine with the plug-in, right? Then your hybrid electric is all-wheel drive, 236 horsepower right there. Same reason I just talked on the other one. And then you got your plug-in, bigger battery, allows you to do a little bit more horsepower. There's a little bit difference on the drive motors there. So you've got 320 combined net horsepower on that plug-in hybrid. You'll see that if you look on here, the length is just a little bit longer. That's probably a fascia piece, something like that. Maybe a little nose difference, something that's causing that. Maybe the spoiler, right? But you're talking about less than an inch, just slightly less than an inch. Width, just a little bit wider, right? That 1 inch. Remember, you have the offset wheels. The offset wheels are where you're going to get that extra width, right? So you have 1 inch, so they're offset by probably ½ inch on either side, right? Height 67.8, slightly higher. That's because of those tires that we talked about, raising that up, right? So now let's go into the Sport. Your SE, XSE, and GR Sports. You got 3 in there, right? Core has 3, Rugged has 1, and then Sport has 3, right? So then you get your SE, front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, right? XSE and GR Sport, all-wheel drive only. Your SE, XSE, 2.5-liter 4-cylinder hybrid, or the plug-in hybrid, like I said, non-turbo engines, right? We're good, right? So if you don't want turbo, good, you don't have to have one. There you go. Hybrid electric front-wheel drive, 226, all-wheel drive, 236, plug-in, 320. Guess what? Same as the other ones, right? No shocker. Now, you get to the SE and XSE for your length, Same as the Core, right? The 180.9. GR Sport, 181.8. Once again, it's a fascia piece, I'm sure. It's spoiler. It's something that's just a touch longer, right? Width, 74. What does that tell me? That the Sport is going to have that slightly offset wheel too, or a fender flare, something like that. It's going to do that to us. So now your height, you see your SE and your XSE are that 67, but your Sport, that's a little different, 66.4. So actually the Sport has a lowered suspension system that actually makes it a little bit lower than the rest. But I want to show you that specification sheet. Really sweet, right? So Toyota's going to come with the, and then they end here with the warranty. I'm going to go ahead and mention that, right? Because it's important, right? Important to people. 3 years, 36,000 miles. That's your comprehensive warranty, commonly called the bumper-to-bumper warranty. Guess what? If you hit something, the bumper falls off, guess what? That's your insurance. It's not a warranty item. So it covers, you know, stuff that's not supposed to fail, right? That's what I like to tell people. Then you also have your 60,000 mile powertrain warranty. So 60 months, 60,000 mile powertrain warranty. You have a perforation warranty for corrosion for 60 months with no mileage limitation. Hybrid related components. This is something else that gets very, very important to people. So they go, well, what if I got to change a battery? What if there's something that goes wrong with whatever, right? This is where it's important. Toyota believes in these systems, all right? And how you can tell they believe in them is because they stand behind them, right? So when it comes down to it, you have hybrid-related components. You have 8 years or 100,000 miles for your hybrid-related components. That's excluding the battery. Hybrid-related components. You know, so just think about if it's related, you know, little, you know, it's for defects in workmanship and all that, right? The hybrid battery, right? The big deal, the battery, right? 10 years, 150,000 miles, just like it is on all the other hybrids, right? That's continuing, right? That Toyota currently does that. If you have a car that's 3 years old, guess what? You still have a hybrid warranty. You still have, as long as you're under the 100,000 miles, you still have your component warranty. If you're under 150,000, you still have your battery warranty. You have those, right? And then it's transferable. So if you bought it used, guess what? You still got it, right? So Toyota doesn't do what some of these other brands do and go, oh, well, you're the second owner, so now we don't believe in it anymore. They don't do that, right? They believe in the car when they sold it to you. If you sell it to somebody else, guess what? They still believe in the car, right? One of the reasons I like working for them, right? So now it also comes with Toyota Care, right? I have a feeling Southeast region will be different for that, but Toyota Care is 2 years, 25,000 miles, all the maintenance that you need for the first 2 years, 25,000 miles, and 2 years of roadside assistance included, right? They're not making you pay for that. So, like I said, long, 14 pages, right? This is a very long video for a reason, and hopefully you guys can appreciate what I've done here. I've been sitting here for a little while trying to figure out a way that I could show you guys all this stuff. There's really no way to do it other than what I just did, and I hope that earns a subscribe from you. So if this helped you, please subscribe to me. It means a ton to me. Give me that thumbs up, because I tried to go over everything in a way that you could listen to it on the way to work. I know sometimes people tell me I talk fast. Sometimes people tell me I have long videos. This one I was meant to be a long video, and I shortened it by talking fast, so you're welcome. But you guys reach out to me. If you have questions, I'll try to get an answer for you. I love having the ability to talk to certain people that can give me answers. But Steve Welch here. You guys just reach out to me at buyatoyotanashville@yahoo.com. buyatoyotanashville@yahoo.com. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna answer your questions if I can. But other than that, hey, Steve Welch here. All new RAV4. What do you guys think? You love it? Do you hate it? Are you rushing out to get the 25 model before they're gone? Or are you gonna wait for the new one? Or are you just gonna kind of see what happens? Maybe you already got a RAV4. Maybe you're like, hey, I'm gonna keep this one for the next 10 years and we'll have a different one anyway. Who knows, right? But Steve Welch here. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.